the effectiveness of bilingual and multilingual education. This presentation is based on Chapter 14 of the book Routledge Handbook of English Language Teaching and the research synthesis on culturally and linguistically responsive teaching for multilingual learners. It is widely agreed that bilinguals fall between two poles. Some bilinguals have barely the second language competencies to understand basic phrases and produce language and context. Other bilinguals are much more fluent and versatile and possess language competencies that allow them to use their second language across a variety of domains of language use. Balanced bilinguals have strong and nearly equal proficiency in two languages, but they represent only a small portion of bilingual individuals. Most bilingual people show different levels of ability depending on the context, such as work, school, or family life. Because of this, achieving perfectly balanced bilingualism is not always realistic or necessary. Therefore, bilingual education can still be effective by helping students develop some competences in a second language while remaining stronger in their first. Often associated with the one nation, one language ideal, monolingual ideologies will invariably lead to only weak forms of bilingual education, if any at all. When bilingual education is offered in context where monolingual ideologies prevail, the goal is to use the student's first language to transition into the dominant target language. Once students are able to function in classes taught in the dominant language, little to no support is offered to maintain their mother tongues. In contrast, when bi or multilingual ideologies prevail, strong forms of bilingual education are more likely to be implemented. These approaches value students' home languages and promote their development alongside the dominant language. As a result, learners receive a more equitable, inclusive, and meaningful education experience. Bilingual education, therefore, is a seemingly simple label for a complex phenomenon. In 2001, Colin Baker has developed a useful typology to describe strong and weak forms of bilingual education. He distinguishes between language contexts that represent or promote monolingual and multilingual ideologies, as can be seen in these tables. Weak forms of bilingual education aim mainly at assimilation into the dominant language and culture, often leading to monolingualism. Models such as submersion and transitional programs use students' first language only temporarily, and support for it usually disappears once learners develop proficiency in the dominant language. Result, bilingualism is not the main outcome, and students often maintain their home language only through family and community support. In contrast, strong forms of bilingual education promote additive bilingualism by developing both languages simultaneously, as seen in immersion, heritage language, and dual language programs. These models aim for bilingualism and biliteracy, linguistic diversity, and supporting long-term language development. Debates about bilingual education are strongly influenced by monolingual and multilingual ideologies, shaped by political, social, and economic context. In countries like the United States and the United Kingdom, monolingual beliefs often framed other languages as a problem, leading to weak bilingual programs aimed at assimilation into the dominant language. These attitudes are frequently linked to concerns about immigration, national identity, and cultural change, which have resulted in policies limiting bilingual education. In contrast, multilingual ideologies view linguistic diversity as a resource and promote additive bilingual education, supporting literacy in students' first language while gradually introducing additional languages. Countries like Singapore, Luxembourg, Catalonia, and India adopt these approaches, encouraging bilingualism or multilingualism through strong educational models. Deciding which languages to use for instruction in bilingual education involves social, political, and practical challenges. Although bilingualism has cognitive benefits, communities and policymakers often question the value of maintaining minority or heritage languages, favoring dominant languages instead. Implementing strong bilingual programs also requires qualified teachers, appropriate policies, and sometimes the inclusion of community members who may not hold formal teaching credentials but have deep linguistic knowledge. Additionally, traditional views that languages should be kept separate are being challenged by approaches such as translanguaging and meshing, which encourage flexible and meaningful use of multiple languages in the classroom. In conclusion, bilingual education is shaped by social and political ideologies. Monolingual perspectives often promote assimilation and limit minority language development, while multilingual approaches value linguistic diversity and support bilingualism. Implementing these programs involves complex decisions about language use and access. As globalization advances, bilingual education is expected to evolve, with greater emphasis on equity, sociocultural factors, and flexible language practices like translanguaging.